What's going on, friends? James Nguyen here with the Alpha Red Comic Channel. Gonna hit some buttons to get the background music going. And I'm gonna stand back here so you guys can see the t-shirt came in. I always have I always order a t-shirt just to see what the quality is like, and it is good. It is good, my friends. You can order this on fundalphared.com is the t-shirt. Great news concerning the campaigns. We are over $1,000 combined on the Kickstarter and on the Fund My Comic campaign. So Kickstarter is doing very well, $690 on that, on a $500 goal. But on the Fund My Comic, needs a little help. Needs your help. I think I have $390 over there. But combined total, $1,010, and so that means everybody gets a free sticker, and we are only $290 away from everybody getting a free regular edition of Alpha Red number 8. What am I babbling on about? You can jump over. I don't know if I have this up. I was trying to set up all the buttons, guys. Trying to set up all the buttons, and did I get it set up? I did not get it set up. I'm not gonna bore you with those things. Oh, but we are going to jump in and talk about this comic that I found. I went over to. Can I get it? I was scrolling on Facebook and found this here campaign. This is one of my normal places I stopped on Facebook is the Christian Comic Art Society Facebook page, and I have been scrolling down through, and I came across. This is where I also post Alpha Red stuff. So if you are so inclined and you want to check out some cool Christian comic books, you can scroll over here. But I saw a commercial on here, or at least here it is, a posting by Eric Nienatowski about his Shadow Sentry comic being picked up by Ripasen. So I had seen the Ripasen advertisement come through because I've bought Ripaverse things and Ripasen things, and so I was like, oh, I didn't realize it was a Christian. I mean, it seemed like it was a Christian comic when I saw the trailer for it on the Ripasen email that went out, but I just didn't think twice about it. I go, that's great. For whatever reason, I connected it with the Ripaverse, and I said, okay, they do all kinds of stuff over there, and so how Christian can it be? So when I found it over here on the Christian Art Society, Christian Comic Art Society Facebook page, I was like, oh, let me go check it out again, and I ordered it, and then I reached out to Eric, and I asked if he minded if I drew one of the characters, and so he was delighted to have me do it. And if you have not seen his artwork, it is fantastic good. So check out Eric's webpage. I have all the links in the thing below, but I can show you some of this Sentry Shadow Sentry. So these are some of the covers for the stuff. This is an Alan Goldman cover of it. So cool, so cool. But they're really cool characters, and I watched a review of it from Robert Norton. He reviews a lot of 90s superhero comics, like the Image guys, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, Top Cow books, Mark Silvestri's thing. And he goes through page by page, and he talks about the artwork, he talks about the story, and it's very entertaining. He curses, so if you don't like the swears, it's probably not for you. He's not a Christian. At least I don't think he is. Maybe he's a potty mouth Christian. There are those. I have friends that are potty mouth Christians, but I don't think he doesn't talk about God at all. So I'm thinking not. But he did a review on it that I caught, and so all these things kind of lined up, and I thought, wow, I can't wait to get this comic now. So I went out and I reached out to him then and asked if he would mind if I drew it, and he was super excited. he sent me a Dropbox link with all this artwork in it, and so cool to see. I was hoping that he would jump on with me to be able to ask him some of the questions I had about his crowdfunding experience with the original project as it was coming out, and how long it took him and things like that. So maybe he'll pop on. I believe he's West Coast. He said he had some company coming over, and so in anticipation of him coming on, possibly, I went ahead and did more of this drawing than I would have normally. Well, more than I have been doing in the past, just because I wanted more of it done so that I could talk to him more. It does take a little brain space to kind of think through talking while I'm drawing, especially with somebody else. I forgot to say hello to my brothers in the chat. Brother Fong says "Chúc mừng năm mới." That means Happy New Year. Happy New Year in Vietnamese. It was Lunar New Year on Tuesday, I want to say, Year of the Horse. I don't know anything about Year of the Horse. I actually didn't even know that the horse was in the animal cycle of the lunar year. But Patrick Daniel in the house. Good evening, all. Good to see you back and not working, Patrick. Funk says, I believe I bought issues of Shadow Sentry last year at Alpha Omega Con. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, it's offered on the Ripascend, and so I'm excited to get a copy. I do believe it's the whole shebang. I think he has like 3 giant-sized issues, from what I could tell from Robert Norton's review. It looked like he sent it to Robert Norton. That's Eric Nienatowski. Sent it to Robert Norton for a review. It really is an entertaining review, and I'm caught off guard at how close he thinks and remembers the 90s comics, how close it is to the way that I remember the 90s comics, and how I reacted to some of the artwork and some of what was going on at the time. So I find it entertaining. I just recently found Robert Norton's YouTube page, and I gotta say it's worth the subscribe, because he goes through a lot of the comics that I grew up checking out. So see if there's anything else. Okay, so yeah, I was hoping that he would come on. Eric, the first time I heard his name was when he drew a Youngblood picture. So at the time, I was doing a lot of the art contests over on Rob Liefeld's Facebook page. I'm going to take a picture of this now before I forget, because I think I'm just going to go right in and see if I can do tighter pencils on this. And Kabamski. And so I had won a contest, and this was right around the time when Rob was promoting Youngblood #1, the relaunch. So this would have been like the end of 2024-ish. I think he had it out, and you could order it, you could buy it on his whatnot, but it was not yet available on like in person or whatever. And after I won that last contest, the guy who runs the contest for Rob on his site reached out to me and said, "Hey, I know you don't have enough wins in your category. Like you have to win 5 times in order to request a team lineup." So I had not won 5 times. I think I have 2 or 3 wins over on that website. And so he reached out and said, "Hey, I know you don't have enough wins to pick a team book, but because of Rob doing Youngblood, you can suggest Youngblood if you want." And I was like, "Heck yeah, let's do Youngblood." And so I went about doing Youngblood, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, Eric submitted he posted a picture of his version of Youngblood, and then all of a sudden, Rob Liefeld, who had been quiet about the whole thing, he had not yet chimed in on anything, just came out of the blue and said, "Whoever wins this contest, their cover is going to be used for a Youngblood #1 when it relaunches." And then everybody and their brother jumped in on the contest after he announced that. And then Eric, I mean, it seemed to me, it was pretty obvious to me that he was impressed enough by Eric's picture of Youngblood that he just knew that was probably going to be the winner. And it was. And he had all of us who entered into the contest send in our entries, because he said he wanted to use it for like maybe a tribute book. He wanted to publish it and just kind of showcase up and coming artists, people who took the time and entered the contest. So fast forward till the launch of Youngblood #1 to the retailers, and it just seemed like there was like 100 different artists doing Youngblood covers, and that's all he could talk about for a while. It was all very exciting, but I guess Eric had not been contacted about his cover being used, and so he asked Rob on social media whether or not his cover was going to be used, and Rob immediately shot back and said nope. And I just assumed that Rob forgot that he made that offer, and he was surprised at how well it was being received otherwise, and he didn't need it. He didn't need that cover from Eric, I assume. This is me from the outside. I have no inside knowledge about it. And then he was just being his normal, like, just shutting down people quickly kind of thing. And he's like, no, it's not going to be used. And then the internet, like, I believe most people just jumped to Eric's side. At least they understood why Eric was kind of, I don't want to say he was upset. Didn't seem like he was. I mean, he took it in stride, and it, I think, has worked out for him. Truth be told, didn't seem to hurt his online profile at all. If anything, it elevated it. Brother Funk says, yep, just pulled out my MU copies of Shadow Sentry. I have Origins, Book 1 and Book 2. I think that's everything. I think you're right. And I think he did Book 1 and Book 2 first, and then went back and did Origins, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see how they present the whole kit and caboodle on the Ripacen. I don't. It's being advertised as the collected version, so I guess he had not ever collected it. I believe it's like 160 pages. So Alpha Red number 1 through 5, I've collected, and that's 120 some odd pages. So that's 5 comics at 24 pages a piece. So if his is just 3 comics and it's coming in at 160, that would make more sense that it's the whole kit and caboodle. The whole kit and caboodle. Let me see where my other equipment is. I swear I did. I was like, keep it close. Keep everything close. So I'm not scrambling like I do when I need something. I messed up again. And I will find it as soon as the camera turns off. I will be able to find the very thing that I wanted to find, the very thing that I knew that I wanted to use during the live stream. So I went down and I cut one of my wooden rulers into a smaller thing so that I could use it whilst on the draw stream. And I don't typically use a ruler on the live stream, as you know. But I wanted to do a good, nice clean drawing, just because I was inspired. Really, that's what it was. I did submit my comic Alpha Red to Ripacen, and they did send me a link to kind of tell them more about it, which is not something that is found on their site. I think you have to send some stuff. I forget what the whole process was. Initially, the process was when they first announced it, I immediately sent a bunch of stuff. And they said, we're kind of overwhelmed. We don't have the manpower to help you out to crowdfund anything until the spring. So that was the spring of 2025. And I was just about to launch Alpha Red number 7. Was it number 7? Yeah, number 7. And that's when I reached out to them. They said, great, let's see issue number 7. And I thought about it and I said, I wanted it to come out sooner than their process. So I was going to send them the collected edition, and then I just never did. So that was my bad. And then came Yellow Flash's Mighty Morphin Power Ranger one. What was it? Mighty Patriot. The Mighty Golden Patriot. And see, it just makes it look that much more legit. And I am using the backer board again. So if anybody's interested in this, you can get this for $30 mailed right to you. $30 if you are interested. I'm trying to reach for some stuff because I'm so unprepared. As much as you prepare, as much as I prepare, I'm not prepared. All right, I'm just going to use this piece of paper and fold it in half. And Brother Funk says, any publicity is good publicity. I would agree 90% of the time. 90%. Happy Sunday, everyone. Brother Benny in the house. Happy Sunday, Benny, says Mr. Patrick Daniel. But yeah. No, I was, so what I did was, I wasn't sure if Shadow Sentry was a straight up like Christian comic. It had a lot of verbiage that sounded that way, but I didn't know if Eric was a Christian or not. But I went over to his YouTube channel, so you can just look up his YouTube channel. It's just his whole name plus art. So Eric Nienoltowski art, and he can get on here and tell me that I pronounced it wrong. Hey, I offered to have him on here, and he could correct me mispronouncing his name if I'm mispronouncing it. But yeah, no, it sounds like he is a very devout Christian. So I'm happy to support my man Eric, and I'm looking forward to connecting with him in the future on whatever he's working on, or ask him to be a part of whatever I'm working on, just as a connection of a brother from another mother, another brother. So that is what I am. That's why I chose to do it, because I swear one of these days I'm going to do the Illuminator. I am busy finishing up Alpha Red number 8. The good news on that front is that I am done with all the pencils, and I just have to ink the last 5 pages. And I can feel like this energy, like this the sprinting at the end, but it's not like trying to hit a deadline. It's like hitting the sweet spot, I want to say. Like everything is just kind of gelling, and I'm super excited about it. Super duper excited. Like the storytelling, the angles that I choose and stuff just seems to fit, and just I can't wait for you guys to see it. I mean, I can show you some stuff, but I don't want to spoil it for you. So if you want to be spoiled, I will go over to my Substack and I will post the progress over there. That just happens to be an easy place for me to post stuff, and the community over there is more like a bunch of people who are trying to do the same thing. You know, they're a bunch of creators kind of showcasing their stuff there and building their own fan base, like making a place for their fans to be able to find them is what it feels like. I don't know if that's true or not, because some people are reaching out and they are buying Alpha Red in real life. So maybe they're also just random fans, comic fans that have kind of stumbled upon my stuff over on Substack. So I'm super excited that people are finding me wherever people find me. And I just happen to post almost everything over there, like the progress over there. I just kind of picked that as a place where I go through the process a little bit more than I do on Facebook. Facebook is probably my primary. It's where you'll find me doing a lot of stuff. I do Instagram. I'm starting to do a little bit more Instagram. They are now starting to like transfer the things that I do on my Instagram right over to the Facebook. So it makes it pretty handy, especially now during the campaign, where I'm trying to just inform everyone about the goings on of the campaign. And if you haven't seen already, we did pass the $1,000 stretch goal, which means everybody gets a free, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, okay. Good thing I counted that. That was going to be a fifth finger there. This is actually the butt of the gun. But it means everybody gets a free sticker. And once we hit $1,300, everybody gets a free regular edition of Alpha Red number 8. Because in the campaign, what you're getting is the exclusive campaign edition, which comes with extra pages. I know that I'm going to do like an interview style couple of pages with Ray McKay, the writer, and then myself, telling you about a little bit more about myself, if you guys are interested in that. Like, I look at the old comic books, and I know that you have more access to me especially if you guys are hanging out with me on a Sunday. You know much about me, but I'm sure there will be some things that you don't know about me that I'll share with you as far as my love for comics, where that started, some of my favorite comics, where I got the inspiration for this issue of Alpha Red. Even though I talked about it here, some people might be picking it up for the first time. So, and it will help me also to kind of document what I was thinking at the time. I listened to Rob Liefeld's Observations, and he pulls out these old magazines where these creators say a thing and it gets lost in the all the distraction, all the noise of what goes on as history like flies by. But it's good to be able to go back and remember what was happening at the time, so you're not misremembering it, because we don't intentionally lie about how we remember things, but sometimes we just make mistakes. So yeah, this Shadow Sentry, just looking at it and watching the review from Robert Norton's channel, it just reminded me of all the best things about the 90s art, 90s comics, 90s kind of storytelling, those kinds of things. So I'm excited to kind of get the feels of how 90s used to kind of wow us with their extreme physiques, anatomy, all this stuff. I mean, I'm glad that I don't know. I remember Eric's Youngblood picture really kind of jolting me back into like this nostalgic age of comic art, where I was like, I used to be so enamored with this kind of style of artwork. Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, Mark Silvestri, those guys. And it really kind of encouraged me to revisit that. And you'll see that more so in Alpha Red number 8. I don't know if you guys like that or not. Uh-oh. The Geeky Catholic is here. Ernest is in the house. I remember in art class, if you make enough lines together, somewhere in there is a straight line. But a ruler works too. That's right. That's right, sir. Me and Patrick and Benny, all the usual Alpha Raiders, are in the house. Yes, sir. Alpha Raiders. I like the sound of that. I was going back and forth between Alpha Maniacs and Alpha Raiders, but Brother Fong was trying out the Alpha Raiders. Come on. I can live with being an Alpha Raider. That's awesome. You guys are fantastic. I appreciate that. I think it was very unique how you did this campaign. Everyone backs by getting the exclusive, and then backers get an A after reaching gold. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, something special for those who, because I don't know if everybody understands that you're kind of overpaying for this version of the comic, so that it helps to offset the printing of the other thing. So I want you to have something unique, and then once we hit the goal, then boom, you get the regular edition too. So it's for free. So because that's what you're helping to pay for. So Funk says 90s comics when everything was extreme. Remember the band Extreme? I think they had 1 or 2 hits, and me and my buddy Bao, like we used to rock Extreme. It was it was like a love ballad, more like a naughty kind of ballad. And when I bought their album, it sounded nothing like the ballad because they were more of a fast-paced metal. I don't know if I would say it's metal, but it was definitely more rock and roll than it was the ballad. And the hairband ballad was like a one of my favorites. Me and my buddy Bao, one of our favorites. More Than Words. That's it. Patrick Daniel pulled it out. More Than Words. Great song for sure. Greetings, Eternalists. Brother Brian in the house, trying out his Eternalist, inspiring us to be called the Alpha Raiders. That's awesome. I did forget about that. I've been trying to prepare for all this stuff, all the button pushing and all the stuff. I want it to be as cool as possible. And then talking about the campaign and all that stuff, all that's on my mind. Setting up the camera for the draw, the sketching right here. And then I forgot about the Alpha Raiders. So the alternative was Alpha Maniacs. So any thoughts on the alternative? Alpha Raiders was Fong's idea, and gosh, I can't decide on whether I want it sideways or portrait or landscape. Portrait or landscape? Come on, make a decision. But my suggestion was Alpha Maniacs, based on the Hulkamaniacs, Hulk Hogan's Hulkamaniacs. But Alpha Raiders sounds great. That's awesome. Eternalists. So Brian is trying to work on a Kickstarter, right, Brian? I believe. Let's see where this was. This was this chest. So I definitely wanted this one to be There's teeth down there, teeth up here, grit in his teeth. So it had a really cool storyline when I was watching Robert Norton's review. He went through the storyline just from a visual. He didn't want to give away too much, but the storyline was very cool. It had an X-Men vibe to the whole thing, but it was also had the faith-based elements, the highborn and the hellborn. That just immediately kind of gives you the understanding that some of them are fighting for heaven and the others are fighting for hell. And just the demons in the file that he sent me they were awesome. I was like, man, I didn't think that much through the demons. I did struggle with how to present demons without making them look too cool, especially in our day and age where the evil and the bad guys seem to look cooler than the good guys. But he's got some cool demons. Scary. Scary, but good. But he was very generous with sharing the artwork. And I'm glad because I was able to show you all the covers. I did want to ask him what he thought of using other artists, to draw covers for him. Because he did have alternate covers. Like, I feel like I have to do all the covers just because the people who I might want to see draw Alpha Red are like my my favorite artists from back in the 90s. And when I asked Bart Sears how much it would cost for him to do a cover of Alpha Red, he said $1,500. So, and $1,500 would mean just the image and not the actual original art to go along with it. So I thought long and hard about it, and I said I had to pass, honestly, because I didn't think I would make enough sales to justify $1,500 just for a Bart Sears cover. He's really the closest one that I had to someone that I really admired, that I would consider paying for a cover of Alpha Red. Now, if you guys think it would sell gangbusters, I would maybe give it a shot. I would love somebody. I think Dale Keown, I think he was charging like $10,000 for a cover. I mean, you might sell a bunch of copies of Alpha Red, but to make back $10,000, especially if you don't get to keep the cover. Now, I don't know that for sure. I don't know where I got that number. That was back when I was listening to EBS more. I don't listen to much of anybody anymore, to be honest. Too much drama going back and forth. So I stopped listening to all that stuff. All that stuff. I was trying to buy an issue of Cyberfrog, but I could not easily find one. So I don't know if he has like a storefront or if it's just like whenever every now and again, he kind of reopens the last campaign and allows people to order some. I don't know how that works. I wouldn't be opposed to giving it a shot. I don't have anything against Ethan Van Sciver. Just not I don't understand all the hate that goes back and forth between him and Eric July. And it didn't sound like they had any problems with each other, and then all of a sudden they did. And who knows? Not I. Certainly not I. Not a small guy like me. Who's just trying to draw comics. Alpha Raiders. Patrick Daniel says, Alpha Raiders, I'm smelling a new superhero team. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Trying to work it into a team book for sure, because I have other characters that I have them in my mind. There's a Superman type of guy that I'd really like to lean into, but I don't have time. I just don't have the time. But if I can add him into the Alpha Red comic, all the better. All the better. And I'm sure my buddy Ray McKay would come up with a good story. Maybe Patrick Daniel could come up with a good story for my Superman type character. But yeah. Like, I have these characters, but then I have to create the stories for them. I have like scenes in my head, if that sounds, if that is the best way to kind of explain it. And like their origin, like yeah, that'd be a cool origin. But then like, what would their normal day-to-day look like? Who are their bad guys? Because like a Superman, I'm not a big Superman follower, so I don't know who Superman fights. I just don't know. And so would I be going around chasing like the Superman fan and make like a Lex Luthor kind of bad guy who just hates Superman for being an alien? He's not an alien. Like in the guy who flies and is impenetrable. He's not from another planet. So I would have to find a different motivation. All those things. He's just kind of a sad kind of guy. Is in my mind. He's kind of a stoic, like a super monk, honestly. Super monk. That's not his name. It's not Super Monk instead of Superman. Has a much cooler name. But yeah, like he was just kind of the latest one that I was kind of thinking through, kind of had like a vision in my head about a certain scene, and then it became the origin of this guy who has like these Superman type powers. And I was like, yeah, that's a different alternative to a guy who can fly around and save innocent people and all that good stuff, all that Superman stuff. See if I'm missing anything. Patrick says he's in. I would love to come up with a great story for your Superman character. That'd be awesome. Funk says, give me a few years and I'll draw you a variant cover. Not sure how well it will sell, but I won't charge you as much as Bart Series. Patrick Daniels in. Patrick Daniel, you got one person to sign up for your variant phone. Best I can do is a Snoopy dressed up as Alpha Red right now. Hey, that's not bad. Don't undersell Snoopy. Don't undersell Snoopy. That's funny stuff. All right. So, I don't know if you guys hit the like button yet. That would be fantastic. Fantastic. So I'm super excited. Like I said, if you guys missed it, we are a little over $1,000 with the combined campaigns. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about hitting 1,300 so that you guys can get both the exclusive and the regular edition, so that you don't have to go back and buy a regular edition if you just want one to keep with your other Alpha Red. The campaign one would be a little bit more special, a lot less rare, a lot more rare, sorry. A lot more scarce. How's that? A lot more scarce. A lot more scarce. All right, so I'm gonna add a bunch of shadow in here to sell the contrast. So I'm gonna block out some of this stuff so that I can go in with a thicker ink pen, and just add that depth. Looking for that depth, and that depth comes with like really dark shadows. And it's been a while since I've had the time to add the really darkness, and to help it to kind of pop out some. But yeah, guys, if you have not checked out Shadow Sentry, there are links in the description how to pick it up. I did not see it in his store, so maybe that was part of the deal, was that he takes it off of his website. You can't buy it anywhere until the Rippaverse is done selling it through their campaign, which makes perfect sense. That's a no-brainer. And it is actually, it's past its goal of $10,000. It's up to $13,000 last time I saw it. And I believe it has almost as much time as Alpha Red number 8. I think they stop on the Friday and I stop on the Monday. So I am looking forward to getting my copy. And I don't, that was one of the questions I had for him also, because you're always tempted to make another pass at the story, you know, a piece of dialogue that you let out of the bag. You know, you let it loose into the world. You're like, you know, if I had another chance to do it, I'd do it different. And then if you have an opportunity like getting on Ripacen and get more eyeballs on it, you're like, I really, really would rather people see a version of it that does not include some things that I'm more embarrassed about. And then you go back and, I mean, I've remastered Alpha Red twice. So maybe 3 times, just to update some of the dialogue that I didn't care for. Hopefully I didn't break the story. Yeah, so I do have a plan to introduce my Superman character into the next gosh, I don't want to give anything away. Like the next story arc. Whenever this one ends with issue number 10, I kind of button it up a little bit. And then the last couple of pages kind of send you into the beginning of the next storyline. So, and it's a doozy. It's a doozy. That's all I want. Like, I don't know if you guys saw my Substack, followed me on Substack, but you know, as I kind of think through any kind of advice I can give other creators, it does include like being excited about the next thing you're going to do, so much so that you just you're inspired to finish your current stuff so that you can get working on the next stuff. Like, I can't wait for issue number 9, and partly because I can't wait for us to get to issue number 10 and beyond, and this next storyline that I've already kind of mapped out in my head. And I just want to get to the parts where I'm solving some of the sticky points that help the story unfold. Let me jump over here. Funk says this drawing feels like a Cable with regular size feet. The character definitely feels like it was inspired by Cable. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, that's one of the things that that's fun about creating comics. Like all of Rob Liefeld's characters were inspired by something else. Like Cable is inspired by Dutch, I think, from Predator. So I think that's what he said. Jay Scott, brother, Jay Scott is in the house. What's up, James? Drawing looks good. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you. Cole King is in the house. Hey, brother, great to see you. Great to have you here. Great to have you here, Cole King. Funk says, when you do the story arc with your Superman character, then you need to do an homage cover to the classic Superman versus Spider-Man Treasury sized edition. Yes, sir. I do have the Treasury sized edition sketch cover of the Spider-Man and Superman. So that's going to be one of the draw streams. Maybe one draw stream would be me doing the Superman, and then the other one will be the Spider-Man. And I'll probably do those back to back, like one day and then the next day, or like one day and then like a Wednesday type of thing. But I do have it. It's huge. It's like super big. So I can't wait to get to that. Brother Ernest says, Great idea, Fong. Which idea? Which idea? Oh, the Spider-Man? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. No, I appreciate you guys getting excited with me about some of the possibilities. No, my Superman character is a little bit tortured. He's got to work through that. But then, he's got his own story arc that I kind of want to put him through to kind of button up the scene that causes him to be super. Good, fun stuff. Fun stuff to think through. And I'm glad you guys are here for it. Glad you're here for it. All right, let's see. But yeah, like when you're creating stuff, especially now, like there's nothing new under the sun. Every character is a mishmash of a bunch of other characters, and this guy seems like definitely, easily a Cable type character, and that is how I described it to Eric when I reached out to him. I said, "Hey, can you send me some references for the Cable-looking character?" And he knew. He said, "Yep, Commander Noble." Whatever he said, he did not flinch. He didn't say, "Whatever do you mean, James? What character that looks like Cable? What character that is inspired by Cable?" Nope. He's like, "Yeah, Commander Noble is in this file that I'm going to send you with like all the artwork." I don't have like all the artwork, but I have all the covers. So it's awesome. And to flip through somebody else's stuff that I'm anticipating on receiving. So let's see if we can't speed up these shadows here. I love that I get so much ink out of these really big ones, but because they're a brush, there's less control, which is the good thing about the brush, but also the bad thing about the brush. It's good because it looks natural, looks organic, but the bad thing is you can't control it like a pen. But yeah, I am excited about being done with the pencils. I'm slowly kind of working through just the different stages of these last 5 pages. And because I've tightened up the pencils so much, it feels like I hate to use the word assembly line, but I'm kind of breaking them down a little bit more into bite-sized, manageable tasks. Like I went through all the 5 pages and inked the borders, which is a pain in the rear end, and it's very not creative. It doesn't feel creative, but it is necessary. So I just went through, finished those up while we were at dinner, when we were sitting around talking at dinner. We did not go out for dinner, but while we were hanging out as a family afterward, I have my drawing tablet, and I just kind of go to town. And they know that I'm in campaign mode. So my kids like looking. They like watching me draw. But my wife, she does not. She could care less. But she puts up with it. She knows that I like it, so. happy wife, happy life, but happy husband gets you less trouble also. All right, let's go. Let's give these lines a little bit more of a controlled look. Yeah, I mean, how many Superman derivatives do we have out there? I actually bought the sketch cover for the DC KO. I think it's called Battle Mode, and in there is the biggest battle in battle mode is Superman and Homelander from The Boys. And Homelander is just a derivative of Superman, like just a bad version, like a real life kind of what if there was a person who had these superpowers, what would they be like? Would they be bad like Homelander, killing people like super easy? And so when I'm as a palette cleanser for finishing up Alpha Red, I will do a couple of sketch covers. That's also in preparation for the Syracuse Collectors Con coming up at the end of March. So I don't know if anybody out there is watching from closer to where I am. I will be at the Syracuse Collectors Con at the end of March, the last Saturday and Sunday in March. I believe it's the 28th and 29th. I created the mascot for the Collectors Con. He is called the Salt City Crusader. SCC is on his chest because he is, that's the same initials as the convention. It's called the Syracuse Collectors Con, and the promoter uses an SCC as the initials. And so I thought it'd be fun to keep those initials. And Syracuse is known as the Salt City, just like New York City is known as the Big Apple. Cities in New York have nicknames. So Rochester is the Flower City. Buffalo is Nickel City, like a Buffalo nickel. It has something to do with that, I assume, because Buffalo is called Nickel City. If you go to the convention there, it's called the Nickel City Comic Con. Yeah, so New York City, Big Apple, Rochester, Flower City. Did I say that yet? Flower City. But there it is, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out. If let me see, do I have the? Do I? No, I just have Eric's thing up, and I do not have my handy, my keyboard handy. So I am afraid that is going to have to be it. I'm gonna read through the comments and just thank you guys for being here. Funk says, I'm just going to claim this early now. Whenever DC and Marvel do a facsimile release of the Batman versus Incredible Hulk treasury-sized issue, I want to reserve your sketch cover draw stream for it. Absolutely. You got it. I don't know if they're doing it, but if they do, it's yours, sir. The Eternal is sort of a Superman Hulk mashup. Yeah, I know he like transformed into like a different kind of hero-ish. So if you guys have not checked out the Eternal Resurgence, it is out there. You can follow Brian. I don't know if Brian, you have a channel or not, but Brian is a part of the Starcross Comics crew. Ernest says, control. You must learn control, Master Yoda. Sir, yes, sir. Patrick says, looking awesome, James. Let me know about the Superman character. I'd love to give it a shot. I might hit you up just for a short story that I can introduce, like do like a flashback or something to get into his origin story. I'll let you unpack that. I'll throw a bunch of ideas at you, and maybe you can plant some seeds, sow some seeds, just work through his what he goes through as he becomes the super character. I don't want to give out the name yet because you guys will laugh. But guys, thank you so much for joining me every week. If you haven't supported Alpha Red number 8 yet, you can go over to fundalphared.com or shopalphared.com, depending on which platform you prefer. But don't hesitate to share it. Sharing is caring. And so hopefully you guys can share it with people that you know would like comics that are safe for your kids. I was trying to think through how to present it to people that you don't say it's a kid's comic or it's a kid-friendly comic. As soon as you say that, they go, "Oh, it's not for me." I just want to say it's a superhero comic that's safe to give to your kids. So and that punches you in the face. I was adding that, and I was like, I don't know, does it really punch you in the face? I'm taking suggestions. So marketing slogans to make Alpha Red a little bit more appealing. So guys, thank you so much for hanging out, and until next week, grace and peace. We are out.
From dust of ages, a shadow woke, a seal was shattered, a silence broke, a relic stolen by thieving hands. The searcher breaks in wherever she can. Ancient chains fell, a blade of steel, and winged executioner named Zachiel. Once bound to judgment, wrath, and flame, now walking the earth in evil's name. Blood meets prophecy, truth meets lies. The past screams loud in wingman's eyes. He stands his ground, he won't break. The kingdom fight is now his fate. When angels fall and the dark ones rise, his faith and fire will light the skies. When the story is told, let it be said, God's champion tonight was Alpha Red. Wingman dreams in broken lights, forgotten sins clawed through his night. Someone else's vision of who he was, of broken wings and a sacred cause. He faces the thief with a heart on fire, the searcher's blade sharp as wire. Beside her he stands, cold and still. Zachiel awaits to do her will. Heroes tremble at heaven's gate. Old blood stirs, but it's not too late. He stands his ground, he won't break. The kingdom fight is now his fate. When angels fall and the dark ones rise, his faith and fire will light the skies. When the story is told, let it be said, God's champion tonight was Alpha Red. If judgment's bright can't be slain, then a new master must take the reins. Not all that's holy walks in light, not all that's wrong is born at night. The searcher pulls her final thread, but our heroes will triumph instead. He stands his ground, hearing wingman's cry, his kingdom friends doomed to die. When rooftops burn and allies fall, one brave hero must answer the call. He fought till the end as the darkness fled. The war is won because of Alpha Red. The searcher runs, the skies still bleed. Zachiel falters, chained by creed, and in the ash where angels tread, hope still rises, Alpha Red. Hope still rises, Alpha Red. Hope still rises.